welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day full of fantastic things in it. As always, and for today's video, I decided to do that part 2 of the video that I did last week. Now, for those of you who do not know, and by the way, I'll put it in the description below, I did a video of my first impression of the Modern Warfare 2 beta, and just of Modern Warfare 2 period, after the first 24 hours of playing the beta. And I told you guys in that video that I would be doing another one after it was all said and done, after it was all finished. I was going to be doing another one, and we were going to compare the pros and cons of what, and see if anything changed. And there have been some things that have changed for good, and some of the fears that I have. Now, but before we go any further, I know that this video is late. I want to apologize. I know it's been gone for a few days here. I want to apologize. My editing software actually has been having a few issues, and I think it's because it needs to update. It kind of does that when it needs to update. And so for today's video, since they have not sent an update yet, I want to apologize, but there's not going to be any added footage or pictures in here. And I want to apologize because it makes it more entertaining for you guys. And I want to apologize. It's just having a hard time laying over. I'll try to put pop-up words in here. I'll try to do that. If there's not, then you know that I had trouble doing it. But I want to apologize for that. So for today's video, it's just going to be a conversation between just some COD-loving people who love COD. And if you know me, you know I love COD. And a lot of the people and a lot of my audience love COD as well. So and I do love COD. And my COD love has gotten stronger, let's say, since this beta. Now, I have some fears, so let's get into it. First and foremost, I'm going to go over some of the pros that the pros and the cons that quickly through the video that was from the last video that I did. I'm going to quickly go through them. Again, I'll put that video down below if you want more detail on that. But some of the pros were movement, the gunsmith. I did like the gunsmith. Once you get used to it, it's very, very good. The sheer size of the beta, we'll get into that in a minute, but it was pretty impressive. I was very impressed about how big it was and how much content we have coming our way. The maps, I still stand by that one. I still stand by it. The maps were good. I do think some of them are a little big for 6 versus 6, but for overall, they are very good maps. And I like that they have options of playing. And you could play, they got an upstairs and a downstairs, basically. And I like that. And the last one is leveling up. And I still stand by that one. The leveling up was very, very, very good. Now, some of the cons that were in the last video were red dots. I did think that there needed to be red dots on the mini map. Now, they said that they didn't put that in there because of casual players. They wanted to keep it more for casual play. I don't quite get that statement because I don't know if you're a casual player. Put in the description below, comment below what you guys would like to, if you guys think that as a casual player that would help you or not. In my opinion, I think it would help you. So I found that statement to be very, very interesting. But yes, and I still stand by that con. And the other con was sliding, and I still stand by what I said with the sliding. Either you add slide canceling in there or you take it out completely. I don't think we need this in-between thing that they've kind of given us. It breaks gameplay, and I don't think it needs to be in there. And then the last thing, and I am actually retracting this, but the last thing was mounting, and I am retracting it, and I'm taking that back because the mounting has improved, and we'll get into that in a little bit. There are some things that I noticed on Sunday, and that's when I put the most time into the beta, was Sunday. I noticed that there were quite a few improvements since Thursday, since I played it, but we'll get into that in a minute. But yes, those are the pros and cons for the last video. Now, the pros and cons I've added today, some of them are personal opinions. Some of them are opinions that I've heard of other people. By the way, again, there actually are more pros than cons. Now, I do have a few fears, and I'll share them with you in a little bit. But overall, I'm very encouraged by the beta. But let's get into some of the pros that I've added, and that is third-person mode, and just modes, period. The modes are very good in this Call of Duty. Again, the sheer size of this thing is massive, and we're going to be getting a lot of content. This Call of Duty is built for 2 years, and so I've been very impressed by how big and how much content they're giving us. And the wild card out of that was the third person mode, and I absolutely, in my opinion, was the wild card one, and it is absolutely clean. It is so much fun. It's even cleaner than the first person, okay, which Call of Duty has always been a first person shooter. It's cleaner than that. It is even cleaner than that they gave us. It is a beautiful mode. It is just beautiful. I love that mode. I can even sniper in that mode, guys. And I usually can't sniper in multiplayer. I can do it in zombies and in Warzone when I have to. But I can actually do it in third person. I absolutely loved that mode, and I can't wait. It was arguably my favorite mode. But yes, the third person mode was good. The other one I want to get into is detail. Yes, the maps are detailed, the guns are detailed, the graphics are gorgeous if you are playing it on a newer console or on a 4K graphics card. It's gorgeous. This game is really pretty. The detail that they've added into this map is very impressive. Into the maps and into the guns is very impressive. But they took the detail even further into the grenades and how they work and things like that. Like the blow up one, like they blow up a soldier. I like a decoy. That's what it is, the decoy. It can actually float in water. I've been very impressed by that. And there are other things that work in the water because they're made of certain materials, so they can work in water. I've been very impressed by this. I do think this Call of Duty is paying attention to the small details, and I like that from Call of Duty. They haven't always done that, but they're doing it this time around. So I was really impressed by that. Now, let's get into some of the cons, and there are more cons that I've added. Now, again, there actually is more pros, but I've added a few other cons since playing it, and one of them is the one that everybody's talking about, and that is time to kill. The time to kill needs to be turned down just a notch. Not too much, but just a few notches. It needs to be turned down. I think I killed my opponents too soon, and not too much, too soon. That's the word. And I think that they kill me too fast as well. That's the way to say it, really, Rachel. It just needs to be turned down just a little bit. It's way too easy to kill a person. Now, I don't want it to get up too much, though, that it breaks gameplay. We don't want that, Call of Duty, but it does need to be turned down a notch. Another one that I want to talk about, and this is a personal preference, but I don't know about you guys. For me, it was blue, but my teammates always had their names in blue and had a dot over them. Now, I like that. I like that a lot, okay? I like that so I can tell who's my teammate and who's not my teammate. I like that. However, you can see them through walls. And I don't like seeing them through the walls because there were times where a opponent, the enemy team, if you will, would be right smack dab right under that dot and that name perfectly, and I thought that they were a teammate, and it would be coming through the wall. That, in my opinion, needs to change. I don't think they need to be coming through the wall. It's just a minor thing, though. I'm not saying it's going to make or break Call of Duty. That's just a minor thing that I'm going to say about that. And the other thing, and probably The other thing, and probably the most controversial thing right now, is the hacking. Now, I told you guys in the last video that I wasn't going to be talking about it, but it's become very, very bad, in my opinion. And in a lot of people's opinion. And it was riddled with hackers. I did run into quite a few of them while I was playing Sunday. Now, it did wane, though, as the day went on. And that is because it kept updating a lot. And we'll get into that in a minute as well. But I do think that the hacking they need to crack down on it. In my opinion, they need to. And they kept promising that they were going to crack down on this. Now, I want to quickly remind everybody, this is a beta, so not everything is going to be up to par that it will be, hopefully, when the game comes out. And that can be the anti-cheat stuff, anti-hacking stuff as well. So I'm hoping that it will be up to the task when the full-on game comes out. I hope that it is. But yes, those are kind of my pros and cons. Let's get into, though, I want to get into rushing, though. For those of you who do not know and haven't seen me play, I am between tactical and rusher, and I've become more of a rusher over the years. And I feel like in this Call of Duty, they've basically taken out, I guess this can be a con, they basically have made it to where you can't rush. Now, I will say that, and I told you guys from the beginning into this about the updates. Now, I will say this, I could tell a difference between Thursday and Sunday. The gameplay, it wasn't as clunky. I actually could rush, particularly towards the end of the day. I could rush because quite a few times the game froze on me, and it would be because it needed to update. And so every time that it would update, something would improve every time that I went on. So that's actually a pro and a con within itself. It's kind of both of them, in my opinion. They kind of have taken out that. They have taken out the middleman basically here, and they've made it geared towards more casual players, which isn't a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. Call of Duty, I do think, needed to bridge that gap. I'm almost, though, one of my fears is that they've bridged it a little too much, and they've kind of taken it out to where it's not as competitive as it was. Now, I do think that there are things that they can fix, though, to make it more competitive. One of them being is that sorry, I heard a car there. Excuse me, I am doing a video here. Excuse me. Anyway, I will say that one of the things that they could do is that they could put the red dots back on the map. I do think that. And again, that way it can be a little bit more competitive. I think that's one way that they could bring that back. I also think another way that they could do it is just by having 2 different modes in quick play if you want to. And they could have a more competitive side to it, and they could have a more casual side to it. They've done that in the past. They've had casual gameplay basically, and then they've had hardcore. I'm not sure if they're going to do that in this, but I'm saying that they could actually help bridge that gap and give it to both if they want to, if you want to. Overall, I am very encouraged about the future of Call of Duty. This Call of Duty, this is a pro and a con, is going to be with us for 2 years. Now, I'm saying that is a pro because, and on the pro side of things, that is a pro because that means to me that hopefully they've taken their time on this and they haven't just rushed it out to us. And that also means that the next Call of Duty is not going to be rushed out to us either. I like that. I like that a lot. The con to it, though, is that if this game ends up not being like we think it's going to be, then we're going to be stuck with it for 2 years. Now, I will say this, though, about that there are rumors that they're going to be doing some remasters in between these 2 years. And that really doesn't surprise me at all. I do think that's a fail-safe move for them, for them to fall back on, just in case for some reason this one doesn't work out. I do think that this is going to work out. I do think so. I actually was very encouraged by the beta. I was very encouraged by it. I'm just trying to err on the side of caution. I do have a few fears, but overall, I do think that this is going to be a good Call of Duty. And I do think that we are basically entering into a new era of Call of Duty. And look, I believe that this is going to either make or break Call of Duty. This whole entire 2 years that we're coming into, and I do think that this is going to be a new era of Call of Duty, and I do think that they're giving it a catalyst, if you will. They're giving it with the Modern Warfare, basically the franchise that has really made Call of Duty. And they're doing it very smartly, because they're again, as old timers like me, I've been into Call of Duty for a very long time, and it's definitely, this actually does remind me of some of the older Call of Duties, and I like that. Yes, it's geared towards more casual players. That's another thing, though. When we say about the rushing and stuff, I say that about the rushing and stuff and about the competitiveness. The other side of the coin is that this is more like older Call of Duties. It's more like that, and I don't necessarily think that is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but I did see, by the way, and I don't know if anybody else saw this, but again, when the game would update, it would freeze and update again. Every time I would come back, I would see something new. There was a few games in there where I actually had red dots on my mini map. Now, I don't know if that was just maybe a fluke, or if that was something that was a glitch or something, but I did have it on a few games. And I actually at one point was actually able to slide almost into a slide cancel. So I think that they were testing things out during the day. And I will admit that having the red dots in particular was I hope that they add that back. Out of all the cons, besides the hacking, that is the number one thing I want them to take care of. I want them to bring back that. But anyway, there are my pros and cons. I'm sorry that this is kind of a random video. I've been trying to get this done. Tell you what, I'll try to overlay some things into this video. I will try. But if I only get one or two in here, you guys know why. That's the only reason why none of the others would work. If I could get in words or a picture or something, yeah, the rest of them won't work. I'll try, though. I'll try to do it. But like, comment, and subscribe. You do not have to, but I would love for you to. I would love to hear from you, by the way, about what you guys think of the future of Call of Duty. And what you think about even the future of Warzone. Because we just got dropped today the thing about the end of Warzone. The end of the Warzone and going into Warzone 2. Let me know in the comments below. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I actually am. But again, like, comment, and subscribe. You do not have to, but I would love for you to. And I will see you in the next video, well, that you see me in. Goodbye.